When I worked for that publishing company, it was called Good Catch Publishing, and I was like, there were like 70 something authors that were applying for these six positions. And so I was one of like six people chosen, and then four, like two of us they narrowed it down even further. And then I wrote my first story thinking I was fantastic because I was chosen out of that many people. And I wrote my first story, and the editor edited it, and it was like 70% read, 70% track changes. And I was like, are you sure you chose the right person? Because I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, if I'm one of the ones you chose out of 70 people and you're still editing me that much, like, and that's what I call the writer's boot camp, because she was so hard on me, but my writing just like grew off the chart exponentially. Like my craft just got so much better because of that. Learning how to be edited is a skill in itself, because that first time you're like, oh no, you're wrong, but they're not wrong. Um, and so I actually kept that first document with all the track changes on it. And sometimes I find it, like, come across it, I'm like, yep, that made me a better writer to be able to be edited. So
There's a lot to be said for that. It comes down to maybe a level of humility, because you have to be willing to take that information and adjust based on that. And it applies
mhm.
across so many different things beyond writing. I mean, in any job, in anything we do in life, we're never going to be perfect right out the gate. We're never going to not need some level of correction. And,
Right.
it's the same thing with writing. There's always going to be room for improvement. Even the most beautifully edited works that I've seen, I've still caught errors as a reader, and have said, oh, they missed that. There's always
hmm
something there.
My 11-year-old daughter found a typo on a restaurant menu the other day. I was so impressed by her.
That is impressive.
She's like, Mom, they spelled this word wrong. I was like, you're right, they did. They absolutely. So that was really funny.
Yeah. Well, there's that whole fatigue when you've read something and read something and read something. It takes those
Yeah,
fresh eyes sometimes to catch things that are glaringly obvious to those fresh eyes, but not to those of us who've seen it over and over again.
exactly. They
So,
talk a lot about not editing yourself. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's okay. So you've written several books, and I'm gonna just put a quick blurb in here because you've got a brand new book coming out. Did it just come out, or is coming out when?
January 1st,
Okay, so it
if you're
just
talking
came out.
about my brand new book,
Yes.
just came out. It's been live for 7 days.
Okay. And it comes under that faith based genre, which is why we're not talking
It
about it
does,
in this broadcast, because I don't do anything faith based. But I did
which
want
is
to
totally
give
understandable.
you that
Yeah.
courtesy of letting our audience know that for those of you who like faith based publications, you might want to check out Samantha's website for more information, or look her up, do a Google search on Samantha Schritter. And I'm going to spell it
Yep.
because even though our names are below our screen in our recording, I've noticed on my YouTube the names don't show up. So her Schritter for our audience is Schritter. Samantha Evans Schritter, for those who are looking for her and her books.
And my website is pretty easy. It's loveunedited.com.
Love
So you can
unedited.
go, yep, loveunedited.com. You just go there, and it has all the books that I've published so far, and my newsletter and social media links and all those things. So feel free to follow me there.